because it's not gonna work. Now, the normal advice you usually get is to make friends with a girl, and just be nice with her, and someday she's gonna like you. And maybe you get some advice also from the direct pill, which tells you to just go to the gym and stay there all the time, or talk to people and conform to them. But that's all soy. Now, people don't even understand how women think, let alone how to attract them. Now, I'm not MGTOW, but there is something you have to focus on before even thinking about girls, which is, of course, you. Because there is something fundamental in pretty much every woman, which is called hypergamy. And that's like a survival technique that ensures the woman and her children are looked after the strongest and most powerful man. And that's why a girl would rather stay single than to date someone like you. And to do this, usually you have to focus on two things, which are the looks and personality. Now, looks actually matter, despite girls always tell you that it's all about personality, whatever. But there is, but yeah, you know that everybody just judge books by their cover. This is like a cognitive bias in everybody, whether male or female, called the halo effect. And this halo effect thing also appears to people. They will judge people by their appearance, so that's why you probably should make yourself look better. And now I know that there could be some black pill people who tell you that genetics is everything. If you don't have, like, if you're not 6 feet tall, if you don't have some weird jawline, then you can't get girls at all. And actually, I think they're right, but only partially, because this matters if you seek women online, like Tinder or whatever, because there is such a huge competition and lots of insecure guys who are afraid of rejection, and it's not even a place I would suggest anybody to go in. I hate this. I hate such platforms because even girls know this about, like, they're just some desperate guys who want some affection or whatever, and they just want to play with them or something. Nobody really seeks long-term relationships, I guess, there. So I think the best way to actually look for girls would be in real life. So start touching some grass. But anyway, what I want to say is that genetics are not really the criteria for girls. I mean, even the ugliest man in the world actually got married and had like 8 children. So now you cannot change your height. I'm sorry about it. You except if you're like 16 or something, maybe you should eat a little bit well, but mostly you're not. For the jawline thing, which lots of people talk about, the gums, whatever, they don't work. The bone smashing, absolutely ridiculous. And the mewing thing, which is also became mainstream like a few months ago, it's not really a thing. It's just about putting your tongue in its correct place and breathing from your nose so that the development of your jawline would be appropriate. And it's really a simple thing. It's not really complicated. Over time, you just get used to it. You don't have to force it or anything. Right now, I just literally mew without even feeling it. It just become unconscious. And there are some other kind of looksmaxxing things, which just can be basic. You don't have really to work much on it. For skincare, I think a coconut oil can really pretty much fix anything. You should probably take a little more look about your style, yada yada. And don't really go too far. Now, the most important thing, which I think you should also do, is actually working out. And now, because of course I think you're really fat or skinny, but at least if you're skinny, you can be homosexual. Anyway, there is something surprising, might not be very surprising, is that you can actually build muscle without needing for some fancy equipment, without needing for a gym or anything. Really, all you need to do is just do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and bodyweight squats. This is pretty much very enough. And you don't even need to follow a plan or anything. All you need to do really is to buy some pull-up bar and put it on your room or whatever. This is the only equipment you need. And just do an exhaustion test, which is like for each workout, just keep going for as much reps as possible And not until you feel that your muscles really hurts. At this point, you're just 40%, just like the 40% rule. Actually double the reps. Keep going. And when you reach like 80%, just stop and write down the reps that you've done and keep doing the same reps throughout the week. And the next week, basically add like 10%. And that's pretty much how you do it. There's, of course, you should also focus on your nutrition as well. Because when you train, you literally like kind of shred your muscles. So, and when you eat some good foods, they actually replace like these empty areas. They actually get bigger. When you don't, they just shrink back to their places. They kind of look, more muscular, but they're not big or anything. I also have to point something which I think lots of people are not going to believe me about it, but it's actually true. I'll explain why in a second. Which is that bodybuilding is not a good idea at all. Getting really ripped is not something that girls are attracted to because they know, like from the first glance, that they don't care about anything in their lives but just train. They do nothing in their lives. Another thing, which is that these kind of guys are just too big. It's kind of like the girl who has really big boobs. She doesn't really look attractive or anything. So it's really the same thing. Yeah, you just have to be good enough. And now let's move to the other thing, which is about personality. There is something that unfortunately lots of guys do, which is being really just people serving, being selfless, aka also known simping or nice guy syndrome, whatever. And like these guys just hide themselves. They think that the world really revolves around them. They have the spotlight effect, or like when you're just entering somewhere, going somewhere, they think that everybody just looks at them. And it's basically like you have to stand up for yourself, which is to say no. When like somebody asks you to do something, just tell them no. And you should not care about their own feelings. Despite they'll tell you you're selfish. I know you might actually be afraid, and this is really a topic I should talk about on its own, so make sure to click that little button down there. And of course, there is another tip, which is to actually start to be kind of extroverted a little bit, which of course doesn't mean that you have to conform to societal norms. I told you about assertiveness, which is unapologetically just show what you like to other people. And I know you might be socially anxious. This is like just a skill that you have to develop, and it won't really take a long time to do it. So